Today I want to show you a book that is a beautiful sampler and some other projects and has wool applique in it. Hi, I'm Kim Jamieson Hurst of Chatterbox Quilts. Today I'm taking a look at Simple Sampler by Kim Deal. Now, if you don't know who Kim Deal is, well, where have you been? Kim Deal has published many books. I absolutely love her design aesthetic, and she tends to do traditional piece and applique projects. And Simple Sampler includes applique blocks, more traditional, and piece blocks, traditional, and it has wool applique on those applique blocks. So let's jump in and take a look what's in Simple Sampler. Well, you're probably going to expect to see a sampler quilt. Guess what? You're right. She has the Idaho Prairie Star Sampler Quilt. She lives in Idaho, hence part of the name anyway. So you can see this beautiful sampler. So much going on in this, it can be a little overwhelming, but Kim has great step-by-step instructions and lots of graphics, details, photos, so you'll definitely be able to make this quilt or even some of the other projects in the book by following her instructions. So with the Idaho Prairie Star Sampler Quilt, which has 12 applique blocks and 12 piece blocks, she gives you all the information as far as materials needed to make that entire quilt. And then she goes into showing you the different blocks. I'll show you a few of these so you can see the beautiful wool applique that she has on here. I really like how she has these kind of aqua blue colors in her wool applique all the time. Red, gold, blue, browns, kind of the colors she typically uses. So I love the blue in there. I think it's just really pretty and adds a lot to it. And you can see some of these are symmetrical blocks, like this one, and some are not quite as symmetrical. I'm not sure if I've got one of those marked. This one, here's a perfect example right here, block 9. All right, so lots of little pieces, yes, but not anything very difficult. The shapes are fairly simple. They're not super intricate or anything like that, so you shouldn't have any struggles tracing them or cutting them out because she's using fusible web applique for these appliques. And just because she has them made of wool applique doesn't mean you couldn't make them out of cotton, of course. Then she gets into some of the pieced blocks, and these are typically star blocks. She likes to use star pieced blocks in her projects. So here are just an example of some of the blocks that she is using in this sampler, and you can see, as I said, these step-by-step instructions with all the diagrams in them make it really easy to make these blocks. Another one, star D block, and then again the picture of the entire beautiful sampler quilt. Absolutely gorgeous. And of course, look at that applique border. So you'll notice here that there's a diagram here. She actually has this in the book, so you can actually use this template. It's not a template, you have to trace it out, but you know, she's got this dip sort of, so you can use that to mark your background, and then that way you can place those applique elements on it so that you don't have to struggle with placement, okay, because there's a lot of applique pieces in that border. Now, I mentioned she has some other projects in here too, and one of them is this Star Flakes Lap Quilt. That's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? So keeping with that star theme, she has this particular quilt, and you can see what it looks like here with the 9 different blocks in different colors here. She has a few different colors here. Again, very nice. I love the alternate blocks in here. Very pretty, very effective. And that's a bigger project. Now we go to a smaller project. This is the Charming Stars Table Runner. So again, stars, okay, you're going to find them in all the projects. So you can see that this little one is very small. And here you can see what it looks like here. It's only 12 inches by 31.5 inches. Each of those blocks are 5 inches finished. So you've got like a star in a churn dash. So very traditional again, but really pretty, right? Really pretty. I could see these in Civil War prints, right? That would be really nice too. Maybe even 30s reproductions. That would be nice as well. Star Strings Table Topper. This is another project here with stars, of course, in it. You can see what it looks like here. This one is 28.5 inches by 28.5 inches. Sometimes they're a bit misleading when you look at them. Like I look at this and think it's going to be a lot bigger, but it's not that big. So definitely a table topper. All the stars across with these alternate, just plain little blocks in between those sashing pieces. Very pretty as well. Notice on some of these, you know, kind of brighter colors in here, these oranges, the kind of pinky colors, they really add to the glow of that project. So rather than just all really muted, you got the odd one that pops out, makes it very effective. Now here's my favorite project in the book. Okay, this is the Cotton Blossoms wall hanging, and it's actually one of the blocks from the sampler quilt in the center, that wool applique, And then you've got all these little small pieces, squares, in the border. And again, if we're looking at how big this particular project is, what do you think it is? I bet you're going to say bigger than it is. It's 22.5 inches square. So those are really small little squares that have to be put in there. So this is a good test of your piecing skill, right? And also you've got these are like a strip piece, as you can see them here, strip piece blocks that are put together, half solid fabric, half strips, and then they form this first border here. It doesn't even look like a border, but it actually is, these blocks that go around. I just thought this was absolutely stunning, and it's on my bucket list. We'll see when I get to it, but I would love to make this project. I think it's very, very pretty. Then we're back here to another larger project. This is Picnic Under the Stars lap quilt. A lot of opportunity in there for fun quilting with all that negative space in the background. Again, lots of stars. So if you like stars, this is going to be the book for you, right? At the back of the book, she talks about the wool applique basics, and Kim always has lots of good tips in her books. So she talks about how she prepares these appliques and puts them down. She shows you how she stitches them. One of the really interesting things I thought she did, because she has all these round shapes, these little berries in there, and they're not very big, and she puts them down last. That's another tip she gives you, because you've got all the other bigger elements in place, and then you can just add these approximately where you want them to be. So the fun thing about this type of a project is you can change it up a little bit with your placement of items such as these berries. And when she puts them down, she does what she calls a wagon wheel stitch, which adds a lot of texture to them. So you're actually going around the outside to fasten it down, but those stitches are also coming into the middle every time. So it looks like a wagon wheel. That's really effective, something I haven't seen anyone else do. So she tells you more about how she traces them. She talks about how she makes her vines and everything, how she lays them out. So there's a lot of detail in that process going through to make either the sampler quilt or, some of the other projects, or that one project I really liked with the one applique block in the center. And then she also has the quilt making basics at the back, telling you how to make those bias vines, like I'd mentioned. A lot of detail on that, which is really good. She also does something called chubby binding, which is a little wider, so she gives you information on how she does that. And of course, in the back of the book, you have all of the templates at full size to make that project, the sampler project, or any other projects in the book, should they require any applique templates. Just that one project, I think, that I liked. Anyway, I really liked this book. If you like sampler quilts or you like wool applique, I'm sure you'll like this book as well. So be sure to check above or in the description below for links to Simple Sampler so you can get your own copy. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe and hit the bell so you'll be notified the next time I release a new video. Before you go, check out these other videos I've included just for you. And for more helpful quilting information, please go to my website at www.chatterboxquilts.com.